Alrighty then, so strap up because this is a hellish game. Which one? This title is not clickbait. If you guys saw this on stream, so you guys would know how horrific this game is going to be. There will be some spoilers with some weird time control things because I gotta explain what's going to happen with this video. So this isn't a stream cut, and yet it's almost 22 minutes long. Now, I am going to have a lot of these weird cuts throughout the video because, as I said in the last video, the Kane one, replays are broken. And whenever it crashes, the only way you can fix it is to find that spot that it broke and like clip around there until you find a spot that it stops breaking and record from there on. Basically, for some scenes, I have to cut either just 5 seconds to 30 seconds, so that sucks. Anyways, I'm Maokai, and I'm fighting a Kha'Zix, and this Kha'Zix does not understand that Maokai hurts a lot, so he's trying to get the Scuttle Crab, I understand, but he didn't see that I set him up to get absolutely wombo comboed if he dared fight me. And I did and destroyed him. Pretty good. Shen helped, obviously. Cho'Gath helped a lot immensely, so that's pretty good too. Now, that's as much praise as I'll probably be giving him, and some of you might get upset with how I'm going to take this video, but no. There is a lot of problems with this team, and you can see it already with how terrible the focus from the Caitlyn was and how her positioning was weak. I want you to see what happens when we reach level 6. Some of you will notice immediately, and I'll have to point it out later, but there is so many problems. Also, this Kha'Zix gets schooled again. You know I was here, so I go in, steal these monsters, and then I set him up with my babies there. I don't even know if he wasn't even paying attention, but I think he was looking towards mid lane to see if the Cho'Gath could be easily gankable. So he didn't see me throw my baby there, and he got absolutely destroyed. Same thing with this Ashe; she just kind of died too. Though admirably, she was going for the kill because she knew I was going to destroy her. So she might have tried to sneak out a kill against the enemy Vel'Koz, or my ally Vel'Koz, because there's no other alternative. But no. So my top laner is losing. Not in farm, it's just mostly in control. Tahm Kench top lane is pretty terrible, as in a terrible thing to deal with, so I don't blame her too much. However, she is going to be getting super aggro against someone he can absolutely punish her and forcing me to be in top lane a lot, which is not entirely the worst thing, but what makes it really bad is that she doesn't seemingly pay attention to the ins and outs of this fight. Again, you saw how she burned every single ability to run away from Tahm Kench very quickly rather than realizing that, hey, within a certain range, she's not actually dangerous. So I took so much damage that it was not necessary if she had just turned around and helped me a little bit or positioned herself better or used her abilities better. So that's one thing you should take a note on, is the curse of this team. The Riven doesn't actually know how to play Riven or Maximizer. He plays her as bare bones as a Riven can be, and this will become more apparent once I keep having to go top lane. My bottom lane, Caitlyn's positioning is absolutely terrible, and again, it's just gonna be horrific. And Cho'Gath, well, you're gonna just get ready for this. So yeah, I'm constantly top lane because the Riven keeps going really aggressive, and I kind of have to help her. But here again, look, the Tahm Kench is really low, and I, if she hadn't given up in attacking him, we would have killed him. It's not the biggest deal because there's no retribution kill going on against us, but still, that's not good. It's making me lose hope. Again, it's still early into the game and the spread isn't too bad, and the Cho'Gath has 3 kills alongside me, but still, the brooding is going to occur. This gank here against the Tahm is mostly one of convenience because I was nearby, and it's mostly a damage one. I knew we weren't going to be able to kill him because we didn't have our ultimates, and the Riven already burned most of her damage stuff, but we chunked him quite a bit, and that's good on its own. Kha'Zix shows up and ends up turning the tide really badly because, kill the Riven off the bat. Thankfully, I do kill the Tahm Kench, so even though it turns out to be a disaster for us, it's still a silver lining. Bottom lane gets to a lot of freedom here, but Fizz is roaming around. That's another bad sign. The Fizz gets to roam around almost unpunished because the Cho'Gath is super, like, blindly farming, which is another thing you're going to have to note on this. Riven nice to the Ashe. The Ashe is, I would say, considerably a better player, although I think she underestimates Maokai tremendously, because here she just let me get up close to her and just start destroying her, eventually killing her. Pretty easy. So, again, the enemy team, like in the last Maokai video I uploaded, doesn't understand that, yes, Jungle Maokai is not vogue right now. It is out of fashion, but it's still deadly. Here you see Riven, die because, she couldn't pull off a successful combo to kill a very fragile Kha'Zix, so she just kind of died. A really awkward team fight occurs down bottom lane where Caitlyn died, so now we kind of go through the remnants. Pretty good catch by the Vel'Koz, although I think it was mostly just him not using his Q, popping it off, so whatever. Then he used his ultimate really awkwardly and didn't achieve anything from there, but again, whatever. There, I could have possibly killed Kha'Zix if I used my ultimate to catch him, but I didn't want to overcommit too much, so it just kind of ended up being nothing. So my item build is one that should be questioned immediately. Knight's Vow, not actually the item I wanted to buy first, but with my team comp, I figured we would have to brute force a lot of things. I would Knight's Vow the Cho'Gath, and we would just use our faces to wreck through the enemy team, force them to focus us. Because their team has very little actual damage. Yes, they do have quite a bit of burst. But if they get controlled, if Kha'Zix and Fizz get controlled, it's all up to the Ashe to kill my team. Which is pretty hard to do if you have two gigantic fatties in front of you. That's my idea. The rest of my teammates should be able to survive and do other stuff against like the possibly Tahm Kench trying to kill them, and the Shen is pretty much mid-rangey, or very short mid-rangey kind of control, so that's what I figured. So a double tanking aggro magnet kind of situation is what I was gearing up to with my let's call it Knight's Vow, and then whatever that speed item is. I keep forgetting what it's called. But anyways, a really awkward fight ensues here where the Cho'Gath just kind of died. And then, I put myself in a bad position trying to help him out, and I do my very best to just bring down Tahm Kench, and then Kha'Zix gets greedy and gets too close, and I bring him down too, giving me, honestly, a good trade-off for my life, because I get shut down gold and kill 2 people. Pretty good. Then you can see the video awkwardly shuts down here, and then I have to kind of fix it. So, yeah. Don't worry, the cuts later on are far better than that, but essentially, yeah, replays are broken and it's frustrating. Not really much I can do about that from Riot. Yay. Anyways, so yeah, that's what I'm going for in this build right now. Here is a kind of an awkward situation because I figured I would catch Kha'Zix in a good spot, use my ultimate and everything, but everyone seemingly ignored that they should be following me and did their own thing, so nobody capitalized on it. I just kind of, forgot it. It's kind of a know-nothing situation. Know-nothing. They just kind of wasted my abilities. It's pretty sad, really. But here's the other issue that I hope some of you have noticed. Look how tiny Cho'Gath is. You know what he's been doing this entire game? He's been trying to use his ultimate exclusively to execute people. I know it's a cool thing to eat people, and technically you get a bonus, but you do have a bit of a bonus of just eating minions and getting big that way. In fact, it would help you a lot. And he hasn't been doing that, making them extremely fragile and terrible. So yeah, it's a really awkward situation we have here. Also, I tried to catch Ashe and Executor, and I almost got really close to that, but then, Shen had to ruin the party. So yeah, at this point you can see the game is going really bad. And I know, the time controls do give a lot of spoilers, but it's not about, the end result. It's more about the journey. And this journey was like walking through a lot of broken glass with salt in your wounds, with, just stepping on dog doo-doo along the way, and then forgetting your keys back, and then having to walk back to get it, and realizing you had your keys in your pocket, so then you just turn back. and forgetting you forgot to actually lock the door, so then you gotta double back anyways. It's just a whole really messy situation here. Anyways, Ash gets caught, surprisingly, and gets really killed. It got really, close there. Now, this is an actually extremely frustrating situation here. Look how long it takes them to kill me. And then, Vel'Koz gets a good ultimate here, but it's to very little effect because these are all fatties. But Cho'Gath is just like, I'm gonna farm while this fight takes place. And Caitlyn positioned herself so badly, she got caught out and killed by characters who were super bothered by me in short range. It's just, it is such a frustrating game. Alright? I'm going to sound mean by saying this, but some of my opponents are not exactly the brightest bulbs, okay? I'm going to bash the Kazakhs because he makes some extremely terrible decisions, but he's not getting punished for them. So, it's sort of like making him better than he ought to be. And what's worse about it is that I could have crushed them, and I kind of was crushing them early. But none of that mattered because the rest of my team wasn't really doing their part. Hell, they could have just done nothing and it would have been just as good. Now, for a little bit of gloating here, this fight is pretty much godlike for me. And I'm going to just get ready for this. Look. I go in there, use as much crowd control as possible, set up my babies to as maximum effect as I can. I hate this. They have so much survivability, but I'm positioning myself in a way to at least kill their damage dealers because the rest of them cannot tickle my ass for anything. I'm just focusing strictly on their deadliest champions. Kazakhs, again, burst ain't gonna do anything against me. I'm gonna combo my abilities a lot and just keep using my passive up. But there, I survive to the very end to make sure they all die. And I get myself a very slow, delayed quadra kill. So much shutdown gold. And I want you to see how effective I use my babies there. I put my baby here because I know Tahm Kench is eventually going to come here, and I try to toss him into it with my Q. He ends up walking into it. Then I use my Q again to knock him into my other baby, and then I toss another baby to the bush over there, and then the fish shows up, and they're going to kill me together. But thankfully, at least Tahm Kench dies at some point, so... I am taking my team and putting them on my tree back and carrying this game with just pure fury. It's like, I was so mad this game. If you saw that stream, you knew I was just raging. Like, I wasn't saying anything to my team. I wasn't talking to them. Even though they were saying dumb shit. Like, the Caitlyn was actually saying, you guys aren't good enough to win. And she was trying to get us to surrender. This is actually what's been happening. My teammates were saying, you're not good enough. We already lost. But I know their team comp is bad. I know the select players that they need to do something to be able to win with aren't going to do the right things. I know we can punish them, so I'm begrudgingly trying so hard to win this game. And my team keeps letting me down. The Caitlyn kept trying to use her Q for damage when she could have just stood there and auto-attacked. It would have been better if she did. But anyways, again, my build is reflecting the means to survive this composition. The Spirit Visage is mostly because right now the only thing really making me stand out is the ability to use my passive, just self-healing. Spirit Visage is there for cooldown reduction and self-healing more than actual resistances. That's all it's here for. You see, when Cho'Gath and I are actually together, and thankfully he's finally getting his stacks up, we are actually unstoppable. The enemy team cannot do anything against how spammable our crowd control is and Cho'Gath's fear. Just us alone is enough to shut down the enemy team, and hopefully the Caitlyn understands. Just auto-attack them and we will win. Stay close to the protection of your big fatties and they cannot do anything. Look at that. They in that situation they had a 3v2 and they basically couldn't do anything. In this next fight here, they use a lot to try to bring down Cho'Gath, but they basically just tickled his anus and they couldn't do anything. Now they're focusing, or at least trying to focus on me, and then the Caitlyn gets close, so they focus on her, but they cannot do anything about our spammable crowd control. And yeah, that was another bad cut because the replay crashed at that point. But yeah, Shen got gunned down, and then Tom tried really hard to get to the the Caitlyn, but I protected her. Again, their team comp cannot do anything against us. And my team keeps saying, like, good job. But we're still losing. I know we are, but keep it up and we might win because their comp is bad against ours, and they're not doing so well, but we've been letting them get away without getting fully punished. Oh, again, I'm trying so hard. And if you saw the stream, I streamed it with a camera. The amount of rage in my face. Here, the Caitlyn, just was in a weird position because of the Shen. She should have been, nowhere near where they might be showing up from, but whatever. We kill several of them. And again, look at the fatties we have here. Cho'Gath and I survive through that and actually punish them for their insolence. Eventually, again, another bad skip. We go through the tower, and you can see the Riven. The Riven is gonna be who somehow will carry, because she has some kind of pseudo tankiness and can follow me and the Cho'Gath through our shenanigans, through our crowd control shenanigans. Unfortunately, this whole tirade here doesn't matter because I just kind of got ground down very slowly. They took me and made me to sawdust, and it was sad. And now the Cho'Gath and the rest of them, not realizing that they suck without me, and they position like idiots, they get caught and killed. It's just like, ugh. I'm trying so hard. They go for the Baron, but they can't really do it with that low amount of health, and it doesn't achieve anything. But they're still trying to set themselves up for it. I respawn again. Just look at my items. I get Randuin's Omen. More just to try to control the Ashe. And also, considering stupid plays, the enemy, Tom Kench, teleported against us Riven trying to solo the Baron. It's like, why are you... It's just a waste. They go to do Baron again, but again, they really don't have the means to take it down quickly. And I show up, and at this point, the enemy team is probably very wary of how potent I am. They commit a little bit awkwardly, which ends up allowing us to, just push them back, although it costs my team a little bit of ultimates. I go in gung-ho with my aura speed-up effect, but I have to back up because I didn't feel like my team was going on. I'm just throwing my Knight's Vow at anybody at this point, whoever's nearby, because I just want the speed boost. Anyways, the fight occurs. I actually get a pretty good engage because my ultimate is able to just disable the enemy team. But my team had a whole different idea. And I get killed. We do kill the Fizz, but Vel'Koz gets one of the worst ultimates in this entire game. Riven burned her abilities in such an awkward way that she wasn't able to effectively do any damage. And then there was no follow-up. And Caitlyn had a terrible positioning. And she positioned herself against a wall with no ability to survive. She was... Why? We die. And they get Baron, obviously, and it's just like there's a whole loss of hope going on here. There's an Elder Dragon, and I'm setting it up for my team, trying to get some vantage point. And here, the Ashe sees me. She just tickling me, and it kind of hurts a lot. She uses explosive roots just to troll us. But thankfully for us, this forces her flash out. Thankfully for us, their Fizz is going to try to flank for our weak-ass Caitlyn, who doesn't matter anymore. And so is the Kha'Zix. You won't get to see it because I did some bad job here at recording that. But the Kha'Zix gets killed. And then the Fizz gets, cornered and eventually killed too. And what did I say earlier? Their damage dealers, or their only burst is their only chance of killing our damage dealers. And it's not even that good anyways. So having only Ashe survive meant that they had no actual damage once I got on top of her and controlled her. And they just get absolutely wasted after that. That just opens the way for us to get Elder Dragon easily. So man, that is an extremely lucky turnaround, and mostly came from them getting super, yeah, I said stupid greedy, but whatever. Really stupidly greedy. Super greedy, stupidly greedy, whatever. Both of them work. Oh my god. The amount of, I'm still stressing out. I'm still raging because my team is sort of like off on their own again. Just like, they should be with me. They're one hope of victory. They should be with me. So, again, we run around. I'm throwing my babies just to protect our advance, just hoping they don't see anything. Again, our best bet is to catch the Ashe and just kill her. The Fizz and the Kazakhs aren't going to do anything. They could kill the Caitlyn for all I care, and they'll still lose. Their Ashe is their only hope. In fact, she's probably the best player, even though her spread isn't the best right now. That's kind of sad. Kazakhs has some of the best score, but mostly it just kind of got off lucky from, choice kills in the beginning. But he hasn't been able to do any really great plays once the team fighting got full-fledged. Here, the Cho'Gath just goes through and eats the Fizz. One of their major damage dealers or like whatever gets killed. I made a beeline. You saw me just trudge through. I grab that Ashe, spank it, and she's dead. And with that, the game is just done. There is nothing they can do anymore. Thank God. It is over. And you know what I'm going to do? At the end of this regular replay, I'm going to slap the stream cut. Obviously, no sound or anything because I had copyright music. But I'm going to slap that stream cut, and you're going to see my reaction when we won. Look at that face. Is that not a man with so much hatred of life because of this game? Oh, but as soon as everyone is dead and it's obvious we win, oh my god, the joy returns to me. It's over. The nightmare is over. Victory is at hand. But the focus comes back because we got to make sure this Nexus is destroyed. Guarantee the victory. Guarantee the suffering actually ends. But you know what's the best thing about this? Is that in the results screen, everyone voted for me. Everyone said I was the best. Everyone knew I carried. Now, thank God it's over.